Play.it is your podcast network for over 350 best in-class shows.
Wow. It's that good.
Get your fill of sports personalities like the guys from Deadspin.
There's a lot going on here. Yeah, it's really something.
Hear the latest news headlines.
Tonight on 60 Minutes.
Fashion and entertainment.
All access pass to stylish ideas.
Business and tech.
Tell the gritty stories of entrepreneurship.
And something for every interest.
This is Bob Vila. I'll help you with your entire home improvement journey.
Hear what you've been missing at Play.it. Sports podcasts on Play.it are brought to you by DraftKings. Sign up for daily fantasy sports for cash.
This is the Nature Boy Ric Flair for Woo! Score Big. Conrad, you like to score big, don't you?
Oh, yeah. At Score Big, you save on every ticket every day. That's where you should go first to check on tickets. Even tickets and seats you don't think you could afford.
When you name a ticket price, you save up to 60% off box office price. On average, customers save 40% off the box office price.
Here's how it works. You just find a game or show you want to go to, and then pick your seating area. Then name a ticket price and get an instant answer. Score Big does not charge fees.
Did you know that up to 40% of tickets to events go unsold? Even events that most people think are sold out often have thousands of tickets.
On average, a customer who names a ticket priced on Score Big saves about $80 per purchase. That's over 40% off of the box office price.
So next time you want tickets, think big, save big, score big at scorebig.com. Woo!
A man who wears the 10 pounds of gold, the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
You know, I always like to take this opportunity to talk about myself. Woo! Woo!
The 16-time heavyweight champion has arrived.
I've got the style and profile like never before.
The greatest talker in the history of the business is behind the mic once again.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine like, jet flying, son of a gun. Woo!
This is Woo Nation with Ric Flair.
I'm the man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ric Flair. Woo! 16 times your world heavyweight champion. Right here with my good buddy Conrad Thompson. And we are going to tear it up today with Terry Funk on Woo Nation. Woo! Hello, Terry.
16 times I got a woo. Woo, 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 woo. Woo.
That's 17.
That's 16. That was 17. You've been doing that a lot of times, I know, with a lot of people, because you knew right away that was 17. I was tricking you.
Just like the time you tricked me, put me through the table in Nashville. Here, follow me, Ricky. Follow me. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
We founded hardcore before there was hardcore.
Isn't that the darn truth? I have a chest, every morning that I get up and look in the mirror, and I look in the mirror and I know that that's the person I cannot trust nor ever understand, and I look at his chest and he's got all of these dark blue marks on it. And I know what the hell they're from, too. I go ahead and I think about you every morning, Ric Flair.
You had the best chest to chop in the business, man. And between me and Wahoo, we got a lot in.
You're knocking my chest and making fun of my chest.
No, I'm saying you always stayed wide open. And between me and Wahoo, man, it was fair game.
Oh, shit. Wasn't it? Yeah. Wasn't it? It really was, And you know what? Just you mentioning Wahoo. Gosh, what a bunch of tremendous guys that aren't talked about enough.
I know.
Why
isn't Wahoo in the Hall of Fame?
We're very fortunate, Rick. You and I are very fortunate. But like Wahoo and all of those guys from that era, what about them? And then all of the guys from my father's era that are lost somewhere. Their names are out there. What they did is out there. A lot of good guys. A lot of great guys that are gone.
Yeah, and I don't mean this with any malice, but How does Larry Zbyszko go to the Hall of Fame before Wahoo McDaniel?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's an awful good question.
No, I know it is. I mean, anybody that knows the history of Wahoo McDaniel, aside from pro football, he's one of the greatest wrestlers that ever lived.
Do you think that was a Bruno deal? Do you think he's in because Bruno maybe campaigned for him or pushed for him?
No, I have no idea. I'm just talking about in terms of legendary status.
Sure. Well, we can, and we all can go on with other names too. I just, you know what I mean. Yeah, that shouldn't be
Dick
there.
Murdoch. You know.
Well, Dick Murdoch but Dick Murdoch and Wahoo McDaniels, you know.
Ray Stevens.
And
Ray Stevens.
As you want to talk about a guy that is lost in the shuffle of the New Deal, you know, which is WWE.
Yeah.
Look at Dick Slater.
Oh my God! You know, I reached out to Dick last Friday. He won't let anybody come see him.
That's a shame.
Did you not know that?
And what a great guy! He's a great guy. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
He's in a nursing home.
I can't. Whenever you don't, whenever things have been tough, and the business has been tough on you, it's hard to love it.
Oh, I know.
And it's so easy, Rick. It's so easy to hate.
Yeah, you're right. Well, you know, I know that Dick Slater, the way I loved Dusty and wanted to be Dusty, Dick Slater spent his whole life wanting to be Terry Funk. And you should be proud of it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Dick Slater was a hell of a worker.
I am very proud of him because he might have surpassed Terry Funk. The guy was a great worker in the ring.
Well, he didn't surpass you. I won't go that far, but he loved you.
Well, he was a great worker inside the ring
and double tough on the outside.
Got caught up in a shuffle, and the shuffle was it was a shuffle with a crooked deck.
Yeah, I know, but
that doesn't mean bad though. I mean,
no.
If I had the crooked deck to play, I would play it, Rick.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but it's like I tell people all the time about how tough Slater was, and then you might tell the story better than me. You guys were in that van with Blanchard, and you had that car wreck, and Dick was never the same after that had that concussion or whatever it was. Remember?
Terrible car wreck. There was a Coke truck that was turned over in the road in front of us. Turned right over, and we were on a four-lane highway, and it was our section of the road there. It was just a one-way situation. There was a 18-wheeler Coca-Cola truck turned up with its undercarriage to us, which there was no reflectors, no nothing, coming down the road 65, 70 miles an hour, or probably 95, who in the hell knows, but anyhow, as we hit that son of a gun, and it did some damage to all of us for a long period of time. And Dick, unfortunately, as I truly believe it, he's still damaged from that.
Yeah, well, they told me he weighs 320 pounds.
I just can't see him.
Yeah, he's in a full-time nursing home over in Clearwater. And he wouldn't take my phone call or anything. I tried calling him last Friday. So I figured if he talked to anybody, it would be you. But
he's in a nursing home where?
In Clearwater.
In Clearwater.
Yeah. And I figured if he's not talking to you, he's not talking to anybody. So, I mean.
Well, that is just a shame.
Yeah, he can't walk. He's in a wheelchair. He's like Mulligan.
There looks like there should be some way that he could at least get something from back from our profession.
Well, I couldn't be more agreeable. I tell you who else is in really bad shape right now. Terry, I'd hate to spend 10 minutes of our show talking about health issues, but Jack Mulligan...
Well, it needs to be talked about. It really does.
Jack Mulligan had a heart attack on Friday, and Jack weighs 407 pounds.
That just both of those stories are just... It's like I don't want to accept them, and I mean, I know that they're true, but I just don't want to accept them. I didn't want to accept Dusty not being here, and on and on and on, Rick, and where the same thing is, it's just not, I just don't like it, and, as all of my friends disappearing,
Yeah, well, I mean, the last time I saw you, I've seen you since, but in Philadelphia, You were telling me the story. You had like 16 inches of your intestines taken out. I didn't even know about it. We just got to stay closer in touch because I didn't even know about that. Do you remember, Terry?
Yeah, I've had so damn many. I am the multi-million-dollar man. I'm proud of it, too. I've had heart stents put in. I've had 18 inches of gut put in me, plastic in my guts. I've had 2 knee replacements. I've had an elbow replaced. I've had all of this shit done to me, and I am thrilled that I can call myself one of the most operated men on in the world of professional wrestling.
See, I didn't know you had the heart stents. Jesus, holy Christ!
I didn't know that. Well, hell, I had that son of a bitch back right after I wrestled you and lost the championship.
What? I never wrestled you for the title.
Hell, it was a Georgia championship.
Oh, Georgia championship.
I'm just bullshitting. That's
you
all.
Got me confused. You got me confused with Tommy Rich.
Hell, you both had the same hair bottle there.
I know. You know who died? You know who died yesterday, right?
He was. I loved him.
Yeah, he was
Tommy Rich, where is he? What's he doing?
Tommy Rich has no teeth.
He has no teeth.
He's still around, though.
No, literally, he has no teeth, and he's around. But he's not in good health.
Why don't he get some teeth?
Ricky Morton told me that he's in such a bad place. His teeth got rotten. I mean, it's that sad a deal. And then yesterday, Buddy Landell died.
Well, hell, have you got any goddamn good news?
No, I know you're out on a ranch. You don't hear what's going on.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to hit me with 7 guys passing away. Then I just went to my football reunion. Mercury Morris was there yesterday.
Yeah, how's he doing?
Looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, all green and wrinkled.
Yeah, he can play, boy. Holy cow.
No, he's not. He looks wonderful, and he's doing great. And Merck was there, and a bunch of the other guys was there. And, we tried to get a hold of Bobby Duncombe. He wouldn't come.
Is Bobby living? I didn't know that. He's doing okay?
Yeah, he just won't come to any functions or anything, and
how about your buddy John Ayers that played for the 49ers?
John Ayers passed away from the 49ers whenever he was 40, what was he, Vicky, 42?
Oh, my God.
42 years old.
I didn't know that. From what?
Yeah, he had cancer of the what, Vicky?
Jeez.
He had cholangiocarcinoma.
Wow.
Right above your liver.
Yeah.
Cholangiocarcinoma. But that was...
Jesus, I did not know that. Because I met John... Every time we wrestled somewhere...
He loved you. He loved you, Rick. He loved to go watch you.
He was fun to be with. We had a ball.
Oh, and he loved to be around the guys.
Yeah.
He just loved the boys.
Hey, the DiBiase plays... He's younger than you, right?
Yeah, he was... whenever I just was turning... Teddy came along. He was the same age as John Ayers.
Okay. So
is what he was.
But Ted played at West Texas too, right?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Ted played at West Texas. Manny Fernandez played at West Texas.
Oh, did he
Tully
really?
Blanchard played at West Texas.
I knew Tully did, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Manny was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was out of his ever-loving mind. I loved him, though. When he... I'll never forget he was up at the bar one time, and he went ahead and had a fight with this guy and beat him up, and then he went ahead and he drove his car over his legs. And then after he did that, he drove him over, and I guess he didn't think that was bad enough, so he put it in reverse and drove him again.
Oh, man, I didn't hear that story.
Yeah, Manny. It wasn't Manny's legs. It was a guy that was in.
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't hear that story.
Oh yeah, that was one from college days. There's a college day story on Manny.
Yeah, Jesus.
So we can,
So, Terry, talking about West Texas
State. It's always good to tell a new story on a guy.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Especially of one of that's so interesting as that.
Yeah, is he still living? I haven't heard Manny's name in a long time.
Yeah, he's still living. He's got a bad liver. He's out there. I talked to him the other day, and he's got a school out there. He does an excellent job.
Where's that at?
He's got Fresno.
Oh, out in California. Okay.
Yeah, that's where Manny is.
Yeah, okay.
And, I kind of keep up with that boy and love him.
Yeah. That's strange. I did not know that about Manny. I saw him over the years, and every time.
He ran over that guy's legs twice.
Jesus. He's lucky he didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Jesus, you couldn't do that now.
No, you couldn't do that now.
Jesus.
You couldn't run over somebody's suitcase and not get sued.
And you couldn't walk around my backyard of my house with a butcher knife in your mouth trying to kill my dog either.
Yeah, you couldn't go ahead and turn a pit bull loose on an individual either.
Okay, so we didn't hear that story.
Well, that was very aggressive and ready to go. And then whenever your friend is over there in front of the dog, barking and growling, you let the pit bull go.
No, you said I'm not afraid of him. I said, well, okay.
Yeah, a bull. Yeah, I said I was not afraid of him, but you're supposed to hold him, and you let him go, and he latched onto my nose.
You bit a hole right through Terry's nose.
Yeah, right through my nose. Listen to him laugh.
Terry ran in the house.
Listen to that Flair laugh now. He continues to laugh. He thinks that's funny. To this day, he is very proud of what he did.
No.
He tells everybody about it, then I have to reinforce it and tell it on the damn radio.
No,
that's too much, Rick. That's too much.
The best part was that my wife, the babysitter came. I said, just go stay in the room with Megan, and you were out in the backyard naked with the butcher knife in your mouth trying to catch my dog. I had passed out.
What was better than that was you sleeping in the bathtub. I hunted all over for you the next morning, and I couldn't find him. I thought, Rick. I thought, uh-oh.
Then
she did him in this time. It's over with.
Well,
my wife Finally, I heard somebody snoring in the bathroom. I thought, well, he went to sleep on the toilet. And he wasn't on the toilet. He was in the bathtub with all of his clothes on.
Well, you didn't have your clothes on. My wife said, please meet the world champion.
I did.
to all the neighborhood girls. Welcome to the Wild Wild West.
I had my one shooter with me instead of my six shooter.
Terry, they remember the thing about it, the strangest thing was, because Terry had to be somewhere on a plane the next day, right? Leslie took all my shit. She took all my shit, threw it in the yard, and Terry and I just picked it up and threw it in the back of my Eldorado, and I don't even remember driving down to that downtowner. I mean, how we're not in prison and didn't kill somebody.
I don't know.
We're dead.
Yeah, we were drinking Everclear on the way home, right? Everclear.
Oh my gosh.
With that Foster's beer. You were lighting Valentine's hair on fire.
Oh yeah, and we weren't really doing anything wrong. We were just headed home. That's all. We were just headed home. We were not guilty of anything.
You kept lighting Jimmy Crockett. Remember Jimmy Crockett wanted to ride with you because you were the world champion. And
I love that.
And you kept pouring beer on Crockett's crotch all the way home in Valentine's new car.
Crockett was nuttier than anybody.
Oh, I know. Oh God, I can't tell those stories. I'd love to.
We love him, though, don't we? I love the guy. I love the guy. I did. I thought the guy was. Yeah. He was.
He wanted to be one of the boys so bad. Oh.
He was. I'll tell you what. He made it. He made it.
He didn't miss one party in Greensboro.
No, he didn't. He made it. There was some wild ones.
God. Oh, good Lord. I tell you, going back at Dick Slater, one of the best of all time. I don't know if you remember this.
He was. God bless him.
Yeah, it's me. I was the champion, and we were all in Japan together. Dick, me, Piper. You can imagine what a tour that was.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so
I'm glad I wasn't there. I wasn't in on this.
No, this was the one where you guys ixnayed Piper because he was jumping on the roof of the taxi cab. Remember? The one and only Dory said, I don't think you're going back. so I gave the flight attendant $500 because they paid us in cash back then to put Piper and Slater up in first class, right? And we're going Narita, Chicago, and then I had to wrestle Harley the next night in St. Louis. And of course, I had my robe on and all the usual bullshit, and Piper had his kilt on. And anyway, the 4 flight attendants, one lived in Fort Myers, 2 lived in Chicago, and 1 lived in Milwaukee. They went right to St. Louis with it. They didn't even go home.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
I want to tell you about one I went on one over there. We took a flight over.
Yeah.
It might have been coming back. I can't remember which, but we took a flight over to Japan, and we proceeded to get very, 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 very... but before we got drunk, I went ahead and said to one of the stewardesses, I said, I'll give you $200 if you'll move all of the wrestlers up to first class. And she did. What a mistake that was.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she moved them all. There was nobody in first class. We just took over. We were idiots by the time we got over there.
Oh, well,
it was nuts.
And it was considered once again, we're not very far in difference in age, but you guys started a little bit ahead of me. But you were considered royalty,
right?
If you got to drink with Terry Funk and Harley Race. I mean, that's just what it was. And Dusty would tell you the same thing. The 2 most legendary champions in our business for going out and having fun and enjoying life.
Right.
Well, I had a good time too. I better put myself in that category.
Absolutely.
But we had,
that's just one of the. They were, it was just great times. Great times.
They were. I mean, you got Terry when you had Funks, and I got to go to Japan with these guys a lot. But when the Funks were there, Terry, Dory, Harley Race. Dusty didn't go that much, but I was with those guys. You talk about a good time.
Yeah.
You worked your ass off because you know how hard it was, Terry, wrestling the Japanese because it was like you were shooting every night, right?
Yeah.
With Tsuruta, Tenryu was okay, but Tsuruta never got a hold of the business. And then Choshu and those guys, all those Olympic guys. So we'd wrestle an hour every night, but man, we would go out to Korean barbecue and drink beer all night and have a hell of a time and get up and start it again, man.
And you know what was great about it? You say what you want to about it, but I know you too, is whenever you went out there and you went into that ring, you had to, there was a certain awe about it because we would have to go ahead and be sure of ourselves and protect ourselves too.
Oh, I know. I'm saying we had fun, but the job was serious, especially if you were the champion. That back then, we get off the plane. You remember there'd be 500 people from the press there to meet you, right? And you'd go right to the hotel and do a press conference, and it was a big deal. It was,
Yeah. It was a wonderful era in our business, and your era as champion and my era as champion was also wonderful eras in the business. We had there was, and not trying to be funny or anything, but wrestling has changed, and we will all agree to that. It's entertainment, and it's recognized as entertainment. But we were looked at a bit differently, I think, at the time. And that's not saying anything against the guys today, because a bunch of tough guys, just tough as we always were. But the business is looked at differently. It's entertainment.
Yeah, it is. And Terry, the thing we're like...
There's nothing wrong with that either.
No, there's not. But the thing that makes it the big difference for me with the kids, even since I retired in 2008 with WWE, is this scrutinization of social media. Guys like you and me and Dusty and Harley. Your brother wasn't that wild, but I mean, there's a bunch of us that could have never existed in this time frame because you're not allowed to have the fun you had. I mean, we would work just as hard, but I mean, they're like Cena can't even go out to a bar anymore. He's not allowed to. 7 years ago, John would go out and have a beer every night, but Vince, put the reins in because of social media. People taking pictures,
right.
And it's brutal. And guys like us, I don't know if we could have made it back then.
But then you had the guys, I'm not trying to be funny, but then you had the guys that I don't care if it would have been Jim Barnett or Vince McMahon Sr. who tried to go to tell me not to go out to a bar, as I would have. I think that would have been a bad move on them with you and I both. I don't
certainly.
mean that, not like I am.
I have a hard time keeping
a bit different.
I have a hard time keeping my clothes on an airplane now. Certainly not in the 80s. Good Lord. Riding from Raleigh and Greensboro to Charlotte with you. Go ahead. I tell this story all the time too because he used to say to me, I would bug him so much. I'd say, Terry, when do you think I'll be champion? I don't know. He said, in one day.
Oh my God, that was constant.
I know. One day you got in the car and you said,
from the time that you and Dick Murdoch drove up to my house.
Yeah, I know.
The first time I ever met you, you want to know when you was going to be champion. You weren't even in the business.
You got in my car one time. You said, if you ask me that question one more fucking time, I'm not going to talk to you all the way. Forget it.
So instead of are we there yet? We're not going to be champion.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
He said, its best line was, it'll come in time.
And it did, didn't it?
It did. Oh, man.
Did, and it worked out for everybody. It worked out for me. It worked out for Harley. It worked out for you guys. It worked out for...
Oh, God.
It worked out for the Briscoes. It worked out for... It was a wonderful thing, and we, in turn, certainly busted our ass for the guys. We knew what we were there for, and we were there to... try to make them have a little bit better money every week, and make a little bit better money and make things better after we left. And we lived by that code, and that's what was good.
Yeah, no, it was great. And I just got to say something, Terry. Well, I have so much that we could talk about, but I got to think about this all the time because the one thing I learned from you, I learned a lot about real working, which was the fundamental stuff. But what I learned later on in life was I learned the entertainment aspect from you. You know what I mean? And I always say about myself, as my skills declined, my entertainment factor got bigger. And it's like you, long before I started doing it, you were taking swings at ghosts. And you were just swinging in the air at anything. And it was a person standing in front of you, and then you'd fall down. I took that to a new level, buddy. I just walked across the floor. I just walked across the ring and fell on my face. But you started jabbing things like that. Everybody thought that I invented that. Terry Funk used to come out of the corner like he was jabbing someone that wasn't even there. To this day I laugh about it.
Oh. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
It was a great. We were the greatest entertainers, and we never said we were.
No,
not one of us.
I know.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Is to it's just so wonderful to be wonderful entertainers and be mad if somebody said you were an entertainer.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, the difference between you
what a great feeling.
It is. But the difference between you and me is you were fearless, and I can never call myself fearless. When I turned on that TV one time and you jumped off the balcony on top of a table on top of Mick Foley at ECW, I almost died. I said, what is he doing? then you light yourself on fire in Japan, rolling around in barbed wire.
You know what I was trying to do?
What?
I was trying to make a damn buck.
You got more money than God. You sold that ranch for $10 million.
And still be my own boss.
You sold that ranch for $10 million. I got the details.
You got the details.
Yeah.
I didn't sell it for 10, but I made a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
That's right. I
don't think you and Vicky have to worry about going to the grocery store today or anything. You'll be all right. Jesus
I
Christ.
think we'll be okay.
And that's another compliment, man.
You know what I've got? I've got this business to be totally thankful for.
Exactly.
That's what did it.
But let me say something else. I don't know how in the hell, and I'm saying this as a compliment to Victoria, how in the hell you were lucky enough to stay married all these damn years, and me, brother, I'm 0-4. What the hell?
I was a straight-laced guy.
Oh, I know that. Yeah. I know that. I just didn't hear the rumors right. You know, I knew you were.
You knew I was.
I knew it, but I mean, I just thought.
Yeah, he knew it. That's right. That's all that counted there.
Yeah, and when you keep Vicky in a ranch with no communication, no telephone lines or anything, only telegraph. She's not going to hear the stories.
Keep her on that horse.
Yeah.
Keep her on that horse.
He had a goddamn choo-choo at a caboose in his backyard. I slept in it one night.
I spent a lot of nights in that caboose.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
that's
God.
Right.
He goes to me one time, he goes, "Hey, you like sushi, right, Flair?" I said, "Yeah." But I said, "They have sushi here in Amarillo?" So he said, "Yeah, we'll go have lunch." I ate this sushi in Amarillo. And I got so damn sick. It had more MSG in it than anything. And I had to wrestle him that night in Hereford in the stockyard or some damn thing. Remember, I was dying. I couldn't
Hereford,
breathe.
Texas, that's right, yeah.
Japanese food in Amarillo. I don't think so. Then you named that bar the Four Horsemen. What the hell?
The Four Horsemen.
That was the name of the bar in Amarillo.
The Four Horsemen.
The Four Horsemen Lounge. How appropriate was that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, Terry was running these shows at the Civic Center, man. We all flew out there and got hammered. I mean, worked the show and went back to the Four Horsemen Hotel. It was phenomenal. Jeez.
It was phenomenal.
Oh, okay.
Had a great time.
Oh, God.
You know, we need, it's just, what a great life we had, Rick. It was terrific.
Oh, God. If people only knew. You know what I mean? We made money, but you know what? I don't even think we thought about it back then. It was so often. I mean, I know for myself, which I sometimes have to think about what I'm saying, but I couldn't wait to go to work. When I was home, it's like one time, this is a great Terry Funk story. So I get off the plane, I meet Terry at a hotel in Japan. And he goes, "Did you hear about Piper?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "Well, Piper got that damn 6-carat diamond ring, man. You haven't seen it yet?" And I go, "No." I said, "Piper got a 6-carat diamond ring?" He said, "Yeah, man, he's killing it in New York." I said, "Shit, well, good for him." So I'm all the way along. So he's got me hooked now.
Yeah.
So I said, "Where'd you see Piper in that big diamond ring?" He said, I said, "You just say, well, easy you get it." He said, "Flair, remember this. Everybody likes to hear that someone's doing good, but not too good. And you just fell into the trap." Do you remember that?
That's right. Exactly right. That's right.
Yeah, I couldn't get over 6-carat diamond ring.
Not that dadgum good.
Yeah, I go, "You want to hear they're doing good, but not that good."
Not that good, no. I don't want to hear of any of my friends doing that good.
Yeah, you got me good on that one, man.
I know it.
That was worse than when am I going to be champion.
Hey, where in the hell are you headed next?
Where am I headed next? I'm headed to Indianapolis this weekend for a Comic-Con.
Are you?
Yeah, and then I'm coming out your way. Not your way. I'm going to San Antonio next month for a Comic-Con there too. Yeah, I do a lot of those now.
Are they fun to do?
They are, and believe it or not, and they're pretty profitable too. You got to have the right agent, as you know, as everything in this business. And I take Wendy with me, who you met in Philadelphia.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Nice.
And yeah, she's wonderful. And Wendy, she has a counter and she counts the beans. So when it comes,
well, that's the best ways to do it with you, or else the beans are going to be lost.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, I've always liked to respect you. You thought I was a smart guy. Well, just because I didn't go to college doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean anything.
I was enrolled for 2 years. I just didn't go to class. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think? What about me? As I went.
You graduated.
I went 4.5 years.
Yeah, but your dad would have kicked your ass if you didn't graduate.
Never graduated.
You didn't graduate?
10 hours. Seriously, I'm going to tell you something. Is I lacked 10 hours to graduate.
Well, they had to just give you a doctorate for being who you are.
I never went back and got it. Never went back and did it.
Well, I'm surprised they don't give you some of a doctorate. Dr. Terry Funk from West Texas State.
That'd be awesome.
Well, I'm going to call the school recommend it.
I definitely think that you should.
I will.
That would be. I'm sure that would go a long way at West Texas. Hello, this is Ric Flair.
This is the Nature Boy from Woo Nation.
Yeah.
Terry Funk, can we please make him a doctorate? Jesus Christ.
I love the Woo Nation. I love the Woo Nation.
The Woo Nation's going to love you. They won't believe this.
The Woo Nation. That sounds like, it sounds like it's right off the Apache Reservation.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, it is, too.
Yep.
I think that'd be the woo-woo-woo.
Yeah. My gosh, it's... You could have had a few years back. You could have had some good wooers in there with you if you put the Indians at your side. Wahoo, the Briscoes. My gosh.
It's so amazing. I mean, the last time that we had a great time, but when they inducted you guys in Houston, it's like I go to Toronto. You need to have the Funks here every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would like,
I don't get it. I don't get what the selection process is to who gets to come to WrestleMania. For sure, they're going to bring you to Dallas this year. Jesus.
They won't bring me.
You know what the problem with them is? They know that you hide from me and won't drink it anymore.
That's not
and
right.
They're always threatening to check me in, so I guess I figured
I came up here. I think it was 2 years ago. I can't remember where it was, but I went to that one, and I was such a good boy, and hoping they would bring me back again. Well, the last time I minded my P's and Q's. I did everything right.
Well,
they didn't invite me back.
Well, I'm going to strongly recommend that they bring you to Dallas. I'll call Corona when we get off the phone today, when we get off the hook here.
All right.
You got to have Terry Funk in Dallas, man.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to go to Dallas.
And they better damn well induct Michael Hayes in the Hall of Fame. That's another bad one. How could Michael Hayes and the Freebirds not be in the Hall of Fame? Jesus.
I have no idea.
I mean, think about it.
I have no idea how they could not put Michael Hayes in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, or the Freebirds. I mean,
they got to go this year.
No, but it should have been a long time ago.
They should. Are they going to put them in this year?
I have no idea, but I hope so. Jesus.
Evidently, they would. I mean, why wouldn't they?
I have no idea. I don't know the thought process.
I'll bet they will. I'll bet they'll put them in.
So, Terry, over the years, you've worked for the McMahons a few times, and seemingly there's a long-running joke about the way you leave or what you say you're going to do when you leave the McMahon territory. Can you share with the listeners to Woo Nation kind of what that note looks like or what the message was?
Well, I went ahead and let's see, I think, did I make I wrote a note that I said, my horse is sick, I think he's dying. And that's what I went ahead and used as and sure enough, my horse was sick, and he was a good horse too. And my horse, he lasted till I got home. And now, but anyhow, is Vince every time he sees me anymore, because I said that whenever I left. Immediately, because I love my horse so much, I had to leave immediately, And now for the last the last 15 years or 20 years or whatever it's been, Vince always says to me, he says, first thing he says to me is, how's your horse?
Yeah, I know. That's hilarious.
That's a true story. My horse is sick. I think he's dying.
Oh, God.
That's the excuse I use. That was a handwritten note.
Yeah. Well, that place, I mean, one thing about that place, when you get in there, they work you hard. Sometimes you got to think of a reason to get a day off. Oh.
It's the forever, every one of them is.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, it never ends.
Yep.
Never ends, you know. And I don't mean that badly, because some people are from that area, some people are from Florida. You know, I picked this place way out here in Texas, which is a hell of a long way further than Dallas, because you got direct flights from Dallas to everywhere, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I picked this place to live, and I want to continue to live here, and that's what I did, you know, I just couldn't make the move. You know, if I would have ever made the move to New York, it would have been a wonderful thing for me to do, but I just couldn't make it up there.
Hey,
I didn't fit.
Terry, where are your kids?
One of my daughters is a flight attendant for Southwest Airlines.
Okay, I knew that.
And has been for many, many years. And the other one is an RN, and I don't know, she's qualified to do about everything that there is except operate. And, she's in Phoenix.
Oh, that's great, man! Congratulations.
And,
are they married?
Both of them are doing good. Both of them are married. Both of them are divorced.
Yeah.
Don't get any ideas, Ric Flair.
Oh no! Listen, I know how much money you got, and I know your daughters since they were little tiny girls. So.
Oh, they're great kids.
I know
I'm being silly.
No. But I saw them both. They both came to your induction. Remember? And
yeah.
I saw them in Houston. We had a great time. That was like. It's almost like old home week catching up with those guys, you know?
Oh, all of it, you know, it is. It's, appreciate you asking about them. I really do.
No, God, I love them. Jesus. I remember the one time I thought you were gonna kill Scott Steiner because he asked out one of your daughters.
Wow!
And I told Steiner, I said, well, "That ain't a good idea."
Yeah, that's right.
He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I would not ask out Terry Funk's daughter. That ain't gonna work, brother."
Yeah, you're sneaking around behind my back.
I know. I know. I gave him some heads up, though.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Not a chance, buddy.
He was a good boy, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to Woo Nation right here on Play.it. Our guest, of course, Terry Funk. And, of course, Rick and Terry had a really famous feud in 1989. And it kind of got kicked off right at the end of the Ricky Steamboat feud there in Nashville. Of course, longtime fans remember Terry Funk was a ringside judge for that. He was coming back from Hollywood and decided to throw his hat back in the wrestling ring. And then the pile driver spot that you guys kind of alluded to earlier, where there was a brawl, and then the pile driver through the table. What was the deal on that? Did you guys talk about that beforehand at all?
No.
No talk of that at all?
No.
Oh, I knew he was going to punch me. I knew that, but I thought that was the extent of it. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
He was just going to punch me and beat me up in the ring.
You know, I didn't have any idea we were going through the table either.
I know you didn't. Either did my neck or head.
Your neck or head didn't either. I know it. They would have stopped at the table and they wouldn't have made it all the way to the cement floor.
I know. Jesus Christ.
God almighty. That was bad.
Yeah, you just invented stuff, man. You were way ahead of your time. Even Tommy Dreamer to this day said that's what invented hardcore wrestling.
Yeah.
And then our I Quit match, man. I don't know how people think that's a great match.
I love it. You don't like that one?
I think me and Terry had a lot better ones 10 years before that, but
they're not on tape, though.
Oh, we had some great ones, you know, but they remember that I Quit one.
I know, man, and people play that. When I do autograph sessions, Terry, the two things that come up in my career more than anything else is Albany, the I Quit With You,
right,
and the 92 Royal Rumble.
Really?
With me when I won the belt in the Rumble,
right?
After Hurd and I fell out and I left, you know. But those two things are people remember the most about my career: the I Quit with Terry Funk, and the Royal Rumble. I'd have to.
They mention that to me all the time to this day, even.
Oh, yeah.
It's just something about it, that because it was I quit. All it was all you did is say I quit. It wasn't I quit the world. I quit anything. It was just I quit.
Yeah.
What's the difference between I quit and I give up? Nothing.
No. I know, but what I'm saying, the significance of it is,
I know.
As you and I,
That's the amazing thing about it, though, that made it. It was the promos that we did get in there, Rick.
Yes, sir.
That's what it was, and that's it. Yes, it was. It was a memorable night in wrestling, and probably will be for many more years.
Oh my God, Terry! I'm telling you, I hear about it all the time.
It's one of my favorite matches, and one of the things I remember is you guys did the plastic bag over the head. I know there was a little bit of falling out behind the scenes on that.
Oh my God! Why in the hell did they? It was like.
They went crazy.
Rick and I did not just go ahead and say, we're going to go ahead and grab a plastic bag and I don't know, or did we, Rick?
No, you told me, but we didn't tell anybody else. I didn't give a shit. I'm just glad you told me. Damn it, we both almost got fired.
It was the hottest thing that ever happened, and they just stopped it. It was over. It would have drawn so much money. It wouldn't even.
They stopped it, not
Rick
me.
And I could just go ahead and go in a 6-man, or go in an 8-man, or go in a 12-man, or be in a battle royal together. It wouldn't matter. It would sell out after that.
When
it was that hot.
When was that
so
thing?
Hot.
When was that thing with me and Sting against you and Muda? Was that before or after the I Quit?
I think it was after. I'm not sure.
In that big cage, because
the stupid cage.
I didn't get mad about the paper or the plastic bag.
I thought the the office.
The office got mad as hell, but they thought me and Terry were trying to.
So what's that look like? You guys come back through the curtain, and what happens when you come back through the curtain? Who lays into you and kind of rips you a new one for the bag deal?
No one did that night, if I remember correctly. It happened the next day. Because that night, I remember Kevin Sullivan was in a huge disagreement with his wife, and I was kind of taking care of them. And there's always something going on in the business. And
sure.
And me and Terry had been at a bar, and even back then, right? Terry and I are going to have a beer together. Who gives a shit, right?
Right.
And then that thing happened with Kevin. I don't know what. I remember we got the TV, and they were furious at us. I don't think anybody said anything that night. It happened the next day back in Atlanta.
But back in those days,
we didn't try to fool anybody.
No, I don't know.
And somehow it got out that we were trying to do all of that stuff ourselves, and that wasn't right.
Yeah. So
what happened is it just and we, to be very serious with you, and this is. It's not bragging, but it's what happened, is through the promos and everything else, I think that we suspended disbelief.
No, I agree with that.
I think that in that match itself, the way it went and everything, I think that we hit the money button, and the money might, that's whenever you suspend everybody's disbelief in the profession.
Yeah, I know that. They're lucky they didn't let us get.
They became believers there right then.
Yeah, they're lucky they didn't let us get any color. We would have really sunk the ship.
Oh shit! We would have made, if they would have gone with that thing. They would have been. You might have had that office still here.
Can I ask you a question, which I've been dying to ask you for years, and now I just want you to tell me the truth?
Yeah.
Do you really think I have a big nose, or do you just have to say that all the time in your promos?
I love saying it. I love saying it.
Give me the line one time. I haven't heard it in a while.
I don't know what it was, but the one thing I know is every fan out there said, That goddamn Flair doesn't like that shit. He is a pissed off son of a bitch. And he's ready to
big
fight.
Nose.
Banana nose.
Yeah, banana nose.
I don't know, but he didn't, but by God, he didn't like that shit. That went ahead. That's what, I truly believe that simple things can suspend the fans' disbelief.
Yeah.
And whenever they heard that, they thought, that son of a bitch, he don't like that shit. That's over. It's over with now.
Well, you made me go look. I started looking in the mirror at myself in a different way.
Well, shit, have you ever looked at my nose? I don't have.
Yeah, but you were never a pretty boy. I mean, let's get serious, okay?
I was never a pretty boy. I was too.
You were wearing chaps and a vest and a cowboy hat, okay?
I was. What the hell? Now you're telling me I'm not a pretty boy. What the hell?
So, Jerry, we talked about you going to Japan and doing some of the hardcore stuff earlier. When you guys kind of went over in '95 and did that IWA King of the Death tournament stuff with Mick Foley, how does that pitch go? Does somebody from IWA call and say, and then we're going to set you on fire, and then we're going to throw you into an explosive, and then we're going to throw you into barbed wire? I can get the barbed wire.
It's just it's a matter of, honestly and seriously, it's a matter of what in the hell can I do to go ahead and ensure myself without television, just with the paper at the time and the magazines, what can we do to go ahead and make sure that we can continue on existing and making the money that we are? And it was necessary to go that route over there at that time because anything less wouldn't have made it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir, absolutely. I was just curious because I know that, barbed wire obviously had been around in the United States for a long time, but that was really the first time anybody over here, of course through tape trading at the time, saw explosions.
Barbed wire, it was quite a barbed wire fence, and it was quite extreme, but again, you got to remember is, what does the fan want to see? And I'm not trying to be nuts or anything, but does the fan want to see Antonio Inoki put his figure 4 leg lock on somebody for the 1,500th time? Or do they want to see Terry Funk stick a pitchfork up some guy's ass?
Well,
so which would you want to do? Which would you want to go spend your money on? And I don't mean that badly either. And it's kind of a goofy ass comparison, but it does say a lot. It does say a lot too, because we were without TV.
Right.
So all we had was a photographer's camera to reach the media.
And the magazines in Japan were weekly at the time, and that was a big deal in the business, right?
They were very important, and like I said, they had to look at Antonio Inoki's picture one more time with the figure 4 leg lock, which had been seen on the cover for 200 times, or do they want to put us on the cover with a pitchfork up a guy's tail end? And which to you would sell the most magazines?
No, yeah, it certainly set the tape trading world on fire.
Whether it was, but at least as we had a bit more of an existence, and as it was a bit more of a good existence at a high rate of pay without dealing with the guy from the north.
Yeah.
And I don't dislike the guy from the north. I like him.
You're talking about.
I want you to know
you're talking about Vince, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that they just now are starting to get back into that market again. It's funny because
They're stepping into it pretty fast.
Yeah, they're going to be there in July. But they for a while they lost TV. Their TV over there is so damn expensive. Now we're back on, and of course they have they can access the network as well.
They've got a 4th of July special that they're going to do from Japan. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't mean this bad because I love the guys that are over there and I love their business and everything else, but it lacks a great deal now in comparison to what it was. And
are you talking about the Japanese side or American side, Terry?
The Japanese side.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And it lacks a great deal, and I think that he'll go into that country and do quite well.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think so, and that it just doesn't have the punch that it did before, the national television. You know, they were the national television over there. The first ones to have national television was Japan. I mean, we had it years and years and years ago, but for it to really have the national TV, you know, that's why we were going over there.
Yeah.
Is because they had the national TV, and it was very successful.
Terry, let me ask you a question. I've never been asked anybody this myself, and since we're talking about this in depth, and then we'll let you go. I know you got stuff to do, but what caused the breakup between Inoki and Baba?
Gosh, that was a long time ago. What caused the breakup is that Inoki, first of all, he stayed with Japan Pro.
Yeah.
And Baba pulled away to All Japan.
Oh, Baba's pulled away. I thought Inoki pulled away to do New Japan.
You might be right on that. That's a shame that I can't even remember that.
No, that's okay. I'm just saying because it really, well, what it did do is it created a lot of work for the guys, for us. You know, I mean, I didn't know that
for
much.
For the American wrestler, it was the best thing that ever happened.
I mean, Brody and Hanson, God only knows how much money those guys made over there. Jesus Christ. I mean...
Yeah, they made a lot of money.
Yeah, they did. I mean, and there's two more guys in the Hall of Fame. It's names just keep popping out of my mouth. Give me a break. Boy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something that, going back to Dick Slater, I was with you watching it one night. It was Tenryu and Slater against Hanson and Brody. And you said to me, this will be good. And I knew how tough Slater was, right? But, brother... They didn't, and all the respect in the world to Stan and Bruiser Brody, man, because I love them both, but they didn't screw around with Slater.
Oh no, they didn't.
Nobody did.
Dick Slater was a tough son of a gun.
Yeah, he was, and everybody knew it, man. He had a dynamite, he had a lightning trigger and a punch.
What was that one guy that was all pro for?
Matusak. Yeah, the Oakland Raiders. Yeah. Clearwater Beach.
Chased his ass right down the beach.
Yeah, go ahead. Then he made him stay in a room and told him he had to write a letter apologizing to him and slide it under the door. He was afraid to come out of his hotel room.
I don't blame him.
Slater was 19 years old. What the hell?
Yeah. What a wonderful guy he was to be around, and what a wonderful guy he was to work with in the ring. You know that, Rick.
Yeah, and he was easy too. You know, Slater's one of those guys. He wasn't looking for it, you know, but if it came his way, man, God, good luck. Jesus Christ!
That's exactly right.
Remember when he knocked out Bobby Jr., his partner, in Orlando? You remember that? Jesus.
Yes,
Christ.
yes.
He stuck a punch. He took punch Orton Jr.
Wow.
And about broke his jaw. God. I don't know what, but you never saw that side of Dick. He was easy going.
You know, and the son of a gun never lost, did he?
Nope. Not that I know of.
No, he didn't lose a nose, no.
No, I don't remember him ever. Even you can talk to Harley about it. I mean, I think Slater will always be considered one of the legitimately really tough guys, and with no amateur wrestling background, just a tough guy.
Right.
Just tough guy. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And he smoked all day long and never got tired. He was like Jack Briscoe. He in Harley. They all smoked all the time, and Slater could get in the ring and do an hour without even thinking about it.
The Briscoe one surprises me.
You'd sit there in a dressing room and watch Jack Briscoe go ahead and do jumping jacks with a cigarette in his mouth.
I know. It's the funniest thing of all time. Jesus Christ.
Terry, before we let you get out of here, Dusty Rhodes is still all in our hearts and minds. You were probably his most famous, or infamous rather, opponent in the Florida Territory. Kind of share with us some of your favorite Dusty stories before we let you go, please, sir.
Oh, gosh, just, again, as I hate to go back to this one, but I'm going back to it. But, just to show you, the greatest story of Dusty is just from where he came from to where he finally ended. And Dusty, whenever he was at West Texas, he was actually pumping gas at my father-in-law's gas station, And he did. He came up to me and he said, and I drove into there in a 1965 maroon Ford Galaxy 500 that had a black roof on it, maroon. And I pulled into there because I just got the thing. I was going to Hereford, Texas or somewhere for a $25 payoff and pulled in there to get gas. And Dusty was pumping gas, and he said, "Hey, Terry, that's the most pretty car that I've ever seen." He said, I said, "Well, maybe someday you might be able to get one like that." He said, "Boy, I'd sure love that." He said, "That'd be super." And he really meant it. He really meant it. He meant every word he said. And I was there, and he was there, I truly believe, at that gas station, pumping gas, because he knew that was my father-in-law's gas station.
Wow.
I think that some of the guys knew that I played ball at West Texas, and that's why they came there to play ball. I don't think that they, we came there and they saw that we were wrestling. I think they knew it ahead of time. I think it was probably very good for recruiting that we were there,
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it was less legendary, the guys, because a lot of people... I think they, at that time, knew they wanted to wrestle.
Right.
Yeah, and what I was just saying, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, was a lot of people, they don't realize how many people that came out of the Funk system.
Yeah.
Out of West Texas, but through the Funk family, right?
And played football at West Texas.
Yeah, I know one of the greatest stories, and I never got to meet Terry's father, but correct me if I'm wrong, you guys used to get drunk, and your dad was like Vern Gagne, you always wanted to wrestle, right?
Yeah.
And you guys just ate a big, like 500 pounds of turkey, and your dad was out there wrestling, had a heart attack, right? Wrestling one of the boys?
That's right. He was wrestling Les Thornton, and what it was Les Thornton said exactly what he said. He said, "Nobody can put me in a front face lock and keep me there."
Les Thornton of all people.
Well, that was, that was somewhat of a challenge. You know? Here they went and they hit the floor, and I've seen Larry Henning, I've seen Harley Race, I've seen my father, I've seen Bob Geigel, I've seen Mike DiBiase, I've seen Vern Gagne, I've seen Pat O'Connor, all on either the floor or the mat of our house.
Yeah.
We had a mat in the garage, too, and I've seen them all. And they were there, and so my father was there, and he went ahead and said to Les, he says that, as I think I can keep you in a front face lock. So Les went ahead and got down on the floor, and then my father hooked a front face lock on him, but he just scooted it on over into a chokehold, and choked him out, just a frontal choke, And whenever he choked him out, he went ahead, they went all over the kitchen. You know, I mean, it was no simple matter. I mean, Les was busting his ass to get away, you know, and my father choked him out, and he went ahead and sat back up on a bench where I was sitting there watching, you know, and he said, it wasn't bad for an old man, was it? I said, no, it damn sure wasn't. And then he went ahead and he went outside at the front door, and my wife was outside the front door on the front porch. And he says, go tell Terry to come out here. He said, I think I'm having a heart attack. And she came in there and got me, and I went ahead and went out and got him in a car, drove him to a little town called Canyon, some country doctor, and don't mean that bad, but didn't have the facilities or anything else, but he had him there for about 3 or 4 hours. We were only 18 miles from Amarillo, and he says, Dory, I think you've had a massive heart attack, but, you know, we're going to get you to Amarillo. Well, hell, we could have been in Amarillo and had him under whatever. Whether that would have made a difference, I don't know. But we had to wait for the ambulance to get there, and then they took him to Amarillo at 65 or 75 miles an hour, and he died on the way. But
how old was he, Terry?
Could you have done anything with it? I'm not sure you could. Do I ever hold anybody against, hold anything against anybody? Not really. But I love my dad, and it was on the way, he says, Terry, says, how far do we got to go? I said, about 3 or 4 miles, Dad. And that was the truth. And he said to me, he says, can't make it. He says, I'm going. And that was his last word.
Oh, man.
Wow. But
how old was he, Terry?
54, and I thought he lived a good life. And here I am as at 70, still kicking ass.
Yeah, and I'm 66, man. I'm right there with you, buddy. How could I be 60? How could I be 66?
How can you lie about your age like that to me right here on the telephone and everything when you're talking to me? I know for a fact you're only 57.
57? You're right.
See, I told you.
I wish I was 57.
You continue to lie about your age.
You know what? No one's told me I'm 57 in a long time, and I don't like anybody telling me I look.
Since you was 52.
What did he say?
Nobody's told you look 57 since you were 52.
Yeah, I hate people saying you look good for your age. I'd rather shoot somebody for saying that.
Oh yeah, me too.
God, you look good for your age. What does that mean,
me
you
too,
dumbass?
Yeah. Yeah, I looked in that mirror.
Hey, listen, go enjoy your afternoon, and thank you so much, buddy.
All right, love you guys.
Happy early birthday, sir. Thank you for the time.
What day is his birthday?
All right.
A week from today.
A week from today, I'll be calling you, man.
Ric Flair, you get your butt up here to Amarillo, Texas, and come and see me.
Well, if you still had that ranch in Canyon where my girlfriend could ride a horse or something, she's just not going to hang out at Whiskey River all day with you and Vicky.
No, I live on a lake now, but it's just a lake.
Do you have a boat?
It's like, huh?
Do you have a boat?
No, I don't have a boat.
Well, buy a boat and I'll come out there.
Well, my daughter's got this great big, she's got this great big, huge boat.
Okay. I love you, man.
She's got a big-ass boat. She does.
Who does?
My daughter.
Oh, cool, but she's in Phoenix, right?
I don't need a boat. She's got a big-ass boat. I got a dock here. I got a boathouse here. I got all of that shit.
Well, there you go, man. Well, I'm going to come see you, I promise. Thank you so much for this, Terry.
Okay, you guys take care.
Give my best to the boss.
Same way here, or else I wouldn't be here with you, Rick.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. Hey, say hi to Vicky.
Take care.
Love you, man.
Can't wait to see you again.
Me too, buddy. Thank you.
Love your family.
Love you too, buddy.
All right, you take care.
Okay, thank you, Terry.
All right, bye.
All the ladies love Slick Rick. You know they love Woo Nation. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
This is Conrad Thompson with Woo Nation right here on Play.it. Baseball's in full swing, and you can be a part of all the action all season long at DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball.
There is only one Ric Flair, 16-time world champion, but don't get down. Don't despair. You can win cash every single day at DraftKings.
No season-long commitments. Win huge prizes every day. Peter from Colorado won $1 million in just one day. Are you kidding me? Hey, Pete, when you come to Atlanta, drinks are on you, pal.
Woo! New contests start daily, so hurry to DraftKings.com right now and use promo code FLAIR to play for free in today's $10,000 fantasy baseball contest. DraftKings.com, official partner of Major League Baseball. Enter Flair for free entry now at DraftKings.com. 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 Woo!
The greatest talker in the history of the business is behind the mic once again. This is Woo Nation with Ric Flair.
One of the greatest of all time, Terry Funk.
More than one of the greatest, the most entertaining guy. I mean, it's hard to describe. You know, where Dusty was entertaining in so many aspects.
Right.
Terry Funk was he was a rebel without a cause. You could hear by talking to him. I mean, you know, for all the stuff that I think I've done in the business, I never lit myself on fire. I have done the barbed wire.
Yeah.
There is nothing that Terry hasn't done. You heard what he said. He's got 4 heart stents. 18 inches of intestine are plastic.
2 new knees.
2 new replacements.
Yeah.
A new elbow. Jesus.
He's the $6 million man.
Easy. and he's laughing about it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And what's cool is, you know, he's still getting around pretty good. I just saw him at College Flag Rally last month with his wife. And
he's getting along better than Harley. Harley's in a wheelchair. Did I tell you that?
I saw him at WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, Harley's. But he said he got out of the hospital the day that Dusty died.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he can't feel anything from the knees down.
Oh, you told me that, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. So
what's cool too is, you know, Dusty, we talked a few episodes ago with Ricky Steamboat that, you know, if it would have been a thing, he would have been doing moonsaults like Shawn Michaels. And then in his late 40s, you know, Terry's doing moonsaults. I know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Just stuff that nobody could imagine. And you know, I hate to say it, but that's one of the reasons his body is taking a few nicks now. He did more than moonsaults. Oh, yeah. Jump on anything. He didn't care. This is a good Terry Funk story. He's over at the house with me a few years ago, and he saw that I had the barbed wire match with him and Sabu from the ECW Arena in Philadelphia. He said he'd never seen it. Yeah. So I said, well, hey, we'll put it in. So we put it in, and he's sitting watching, and at one point in the match, he's wrapped completely in barbed wire, and he looks at me and he says, I'm somebody's grandpa. I don't know why, but I just thought that was the greatest thing ever to imagine watching, you know, your grandfather on TV wrapping himself in barbed wire. That's Terry Funk. Well, I'm glad also to know that he thinks I need Wendy to count my money. Otherwise, that won't happen. I guess I'm stuck with you for a while. See, man? Great episode. Until next week, brother. Let's do it. Woo, Nation!
Listening to your favorite podcasts on Play.it? Sign up today for the Play.it newsletter to receive monthly updates on new podcasts, notable guests, trending shows, and more. Sign up now at playitnewsletter.com. That's playitnewsletter.com. Hear what you've been missing.